Hey everyone, and welcome to Resin Ungloved, the only podcast where you get to see your favourite artists ungloved and raw. My name's Andy, I'm from Custom Carving and Epoxy UK, but get yourself a drink, get yourself a brew. This is all about growing that community. It's all about getting to know your favourite artists without the gloves. So make a brew, make a drink, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So in this first one, we don't really have a guest. The guest is Andy from Custom Carving and Epoxy UK, but it was the first live that we did. It was the first podcast that we did to get things going. So I thought it'd be fun to just keep it in here so you get to see how things progress. So grab that drink. Don't forget to subscribe as well. And if you want to see these podcasts live, head over to Custom Carving and Epoxy UK at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night, where we'll be happy to answer all your questions. But let's get straight into it. It's going to be fun. You're going to get to see the first one live. Welcome to the first Q&A live from Custom Carving and Epoxy UK. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope that we get a few people in here. I know it's the first one, but if we get a few in, I might do these more regularly. The reason why is since I've started focusing on resin, the community has really grown, which is absolutely amazing. We're over 7,000 subscribers now, which is absolutely amazing again. And I'm getting a lot of comments in questions at the minute from people saying, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I just thought, you know what? It'd be great to build the community on something like this, where it's live. You get to interact with me. You get to tell me what you want from the channel, and what you're enjoying and what you're not. So if that's what you're interested in, you're in the right place. I'm happy to answer any questions you've got, whether it's resin related, whether it's about the channel, whether it's about my journey on YouTube, whatever interests you, I'm happy to talk about it. So we're going to be here probably for the next 30 minutes to an hour or so. Who knows, depending on how many people we get in here. But I'm looking forward to just getting to know you guys in the community more, getting to know what interests you, what you're liking about this channel, what you're not, or in fact, if there's any problems you're having with resin, it'd be great to talk about that as well. So hopefully we're going to get a few more in over the next few minutes. And as you can see, my workstation's behind me, so you're pretty much live in my living room at the moment. So I hope you're enjoying that. But I've got some really exciting projects coming up as well. So I've already got the next 4 videos pretty much done and edited. So they're going to be coming out over the next few weeks, and I'm hoping that you like them, and I'm hoping that you like the content that I'm putting out there. There's a bit of an issue with one of the videos that came out today, where I'd re-edited one of the 3D Bloom videos into a short, and it still came up as a video, because I deliberately tried to do it under the 3 minutes to keep it as a short. So but there we go. Hopefully that's going to get better as the channel progresses, and hopefully you found that it is progressing as well with the videos that we're putting out. I'm trying my best to edit them for you, and get better with each video, because I think that's how it grows, you know. But it's exciting, you know. The channel's growing. My knowledge within resin hopefully is growing as well. And if you look back to the start of my channel way back when, I think it's probably about 6 years now the channel's actually been going for. It started off with LED etchings, where I'd actually get acrylic sheets and then etch designs in and put LED lights on. Then it progressed to wood carving, which I still do when the weather permits. And now it's all resin related. So it's really exciting for me. Hi, Mini Scenes GB as well. Nice to see you. I know we've spoken in comments a few times. How's your day going? Tracy, Andy, nice to meet you. I actually looked at your channel earlier on, because I noticed that a lot of my subscribers are also subscribed to your channel. So I didn't actually know that you had a channel. I just thought you was commenting on some of my videos. But I'm looking forward to looking through a few of those videos and experiments. But
this is all about resin. It's the first one, so I'm not expecting to get hundreds of people turning up, but I just thought it'd be something different, something fun to do for the channel and for the resin community. So it's something that I just want to keep on growing this channel, and I'm really passionate about it, especially this year. My background, my story, I suppose, in real life rather than the internet life, is I got made redundant a few months ago, which has allowed me to really focus a lot of time on my creative outlets. And I'm absolutely, as I say, loving it at the minute, the journey that we're all going on. And I'm doing better than you did with your first live. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I've always loved being creative. And prior to the resin side, I would put out maybe one video every couple of months on the wood carving side. But now it's enabled me to really focus on the channel and try and grow it to what it can be. And thanks to everybody in the community, I finally, after 6 years, got the channel monetized on YouTube yesterday. So if you want to know what that looks like, I've made £1.20. So it's not going to pay the bills, but I'm just hoping that we can keep growing. And I think there's so many fantastic resin artists out there with different ideas. And I think this is a great time in YouTube space to grow the whole community overall. And I watch legends like Daniel Cooper. I watch people like Julie from Pouring Your Heart Out, people like that as well, and see how they've grown their communities over the last few years. But I think there's a lot more of the slightly older demographic, shall we say, coming onto YouTube now that wants to learn and be creative. And I think that's where we've all got the opportunity now to just continue growing and learning together. And that's what really excites me. And as I say, the channel for me is going to be a focus where there's going to be at least 2 or 3 videos a week coming out for you guys. Hopefully, I'm going to do one of these live Q&As once a week as well, if it's something that takes off and the community wants. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're liking the channel. Let me know if there's anything you think could be improved. Let me know if there's any particular projects that we haven't done that you want to see done. And let me know if these live streams are actually something that you enjoy doing or not. Because I think it's one of those things where this is my first one and you never know. I've done spaces before on things like Twitter, not resin related, but it's the first live I've actually done. And it's just interesting to know whether or not it's something that you guys want from the channel going forward. Interesting, Tracy. So you do them as well. How many do you tend to find turn up? How many sort of turn up on one of these live Q&As for you? Is it best to do them at one set time every week, or how do you find it works best?
And I hope you're enjoying the show. But before we go any further, it's only going to take a few seconds. Do me a favour, like and subscribe to the channel. It makes such a difference. As many as 82% of you don't subscribe. So I'll commit to you, if you just hit that subscribe button, these lives, these podcasts will keep happening and we'll keep growing together. It's the only way we grow in the resin community. So do me a favour, take 2 seconds, hit that subscribe button, and let's get back on with the show.
Wow. Okay. So 50 is a decent number. As I say, I was hoping for this first one to maybe get 5, 10, possibly 20 as we progress. But it's just very strange, you know, talking to a camera and not a lot of people being in the room sort of talking back. So I'm hoping as we grow it, people will get used to doing it on different days. So if you do yours on a Wednesday at 9 o'clock, I might be able to jump on there as well and see how you're getting on there. Or I even thought as creators on YouTube as well, there's a piece of software what I can install for these sort of live spaces where I can invite somebody else in. And I think that would be great to have like I suppose a chatting session with another community sort of once a month or so. Definitely, Tracy. Let me know. Let me know what time. I'm providing I can fit it into my calendar. Then hopefully I'd love to be a guest and obviously talk to you about what you're getting up to with your channel as well. Are you monetized yet, or? That was one of the biggest shocks for me. Is I've been aiming for monetization just like everybody else does, I think, on YouTube for about 5 years. And it's because I wasn't consistent. And I think you can't grow a proper community until you're consistent. But then seeing how little you actually get was a little bit of a surprise. And it's a good job I'm not doing it for the money. I'm more into it for the community spirit and to pass on any knowledge, And I think we all learn better together as a community than as individuals. And I think, don't get me wrong, there are certain creators out there where I'm sure the financial element is there as well. And I think you just need to get the channel to a point before it gets there, but it does take time. And as I say, with the wood carving that I did before the resin, I did that for 3 or 4 years with no real traction. But I also had somebody buy me my first coffee as well this week. So it was like everything's starting to come together. And again, it's not a lot. I think it was $5, but that $5 goes towards more resin and different products for the resin community that I can experiment with, because it's like I buy in 2 gallons now. I buy bottles of resin in sort of 2-gallon jugs, and it's about 120, 130 pounds a time, which is quite expensive. No, I couldn't agree more, Tracy. I think, do you know what? I've had some really nice comments over the last few months of people saying that I've really helped them, specifically, I think, with the 3D blooms, where I've sort of given it in sort of plain English and not sort of complicated it, not skipped steps like they've seen some other creators do. And actually, some people have said that they've had really good results and more results from watching my videos over a couple of months than they have watching other creators for sort of 6 months to a year. And I think that's what's exciting for me, is watching people improve, hopefully gaining knowledge from other people in the community. And again, I learn from other people as well. It's like my ocean waves video that I recently did. I watched a video probably 3 years ago from, I think it was Sherry Vegas, and that's what got me into resin overall. But then 3 years later, I'm actually putting that into practice from that video that I watched probably 3 years ago. And that's one thing that I love about YouTube. Once it's out there, it's out there. The video is there. Again, I've got 2 little girls. I don't think they're subscribers on the channel, but you never know what's going to happen in the future, and they could look back on the videos and say, do you know what, that's my dad, and things like that. And who knows, in years to come when I'm not here, maybe my grandkids might see it. But I think that's the great thing about YouTube. Once you've put the work in, once you've done the video, once you've edited it, once it's out there, it's out there. And then it's up to the magical YouTube algorithms and the communities as to how it grows. And I've had some success. I've had some videos where they've had like 1,600 views, I think is my best in a couple of months. I've had one with nearly 6,000, but that was specifically doing a review on that product that you can probably see behind me there, which is the Pure Air from Resiners. And they actually added some, marketing through YouTube for that. But I actually thought that damaged my channel, because I got so many views and so many fake subscribers, I would call them, who watch for like 30 seconds and don't watch any more of your content. So again, if you're thinking about advertising on YouTube, I think it could damage your channel more than it could do it good. So that's just a bit of free advice if it's something that's crossed your mind. Interesting, Tracy, with what you've just said there about Resiners. I know there was a bit of a hoo-ha, shall we say, when they posted something. I think it was in relation to Daniel Cooper or something like that, if memory serves correct. But with me, as a small channel, they've been really good. They've given me 3 products to test for them. all of which I've done a review on, and they work. And the products seem to work for me. But I know what you're saying. I know there was a bit of an issue with fake reviews. If I'm being honest, they're probably not the only company that's based in East Asia that do that. If I'm being honest, they see an audience and they try to maximize it. But again, I think it's just one of those things. For me, they've been good, so I'm not going to say anything bad against them. I love the Pure Air, what they've come out with. They were the first ones to come out with it. I think that Let's Resin will probably follow with one. T-Expert will probably come out with another one in 3 or 4 months. And that's how they tend to work. Wow. Okay. Wow. You really fell out with them then. But I think Let's Resin will come out with one as well eventually. But for me, the biggest thing is that particular machine, the Pure Air, that allows me to be less concerned about a respirator. And I know it works because, again, I know you shouldn't, but I smoke. If I go outside for a cigarette and I come back indoors, that goes to red and it picks up on those fumes. So it does work. And that's all I can say. And for me, the bubble removal machine as well, I really like it. I don't know if you saw my review, but the Let's Resin, what I don't like about it is you've got to lift it up like that. And for me, I just know I'm going to knock resin over if I do that. I'd much rather have to go in and lift it out. So I think that could be a bit of a design flaw with that one. But I think they're a great idea because if you're based in the UK, and I'm guessing you are with the GB side, hi WikiGeek Creations, nice to have you with us. It gets cold. I used to do all of my resin work in a little outbuilding in the garden. And as soon as it got a little bit colder, I couldn't do that anymore because the resin just wasn't effective. And I gave it hot water baths and things like that, but it just wasn't working properly. So I had to move my whole space, if you can see it behind me, indoors into my living room. So at least with that air purifier, I know that once I've finished the project, switch that on for 5 minutes, the fumes are gone. Because even if you wear a respirator, a lot of us don't think about when you take that respirator off, the fumes are still there. The VOCs or whatever other fumes are coming off that resin, they're still in the air. And I think that's what a lot of us forget. And it's like me, if I'm mixing up resin to do a bloom and I'm going to wait the 20 minutes, am I going to sit there in my respirator like this for 20 minutes? Probably not. And I think that's one of the biggest things that actually, when I started thinking about it, I've got a dog in my living room. And I don't want him breathing in resin fumes either. So I actually thought it was a good invention. But I can understand what you're saying with regards to the hoo-ha with resiners. Whereabouts are you based, WikiGeek Creations? Nevada. I bet the weather's a bit nicer out there than it is in the UK at the minute. It's somewhere it's on my wish list, the States. I've got friends out there. Oh, okay, it's snowing. So there you go. Shows what I know. But no, I've got friends out there that I know through sort of Web3 projects and things like that. But I've never actually visited the States. And when I was younger, I actually went to an American school in Europe. So there's lots of different states of America that I'd like to visit. So it's on the wish list. What kind of resin creations do you make then, WikiGeek? I also thought, with these Q&As as well, I think it lets you get to know the creators more as well. because normally in our videos, this is all you see, 2 hands, normally gloved up. But I think this way it shows you human side as well, which I think is nice to get to know the people behind the channels as well. And that's why I like the idea of doing these sort of lives, maybe once a week, getting to know different people in the community, what they're up to, and what they're doing. But everything from coasters to ornaments, trays, lots of things. Sounds like me. Whatever takes my fancy in that particular project. I'm very much having to start a shop now as well, because my living room is just full of resin projects that I've completed. I've probably got, and I'm not kidding, about 100 coasters now that I've done. And yeah, I'm starting a little shop now, which I've started on Shopify rather than Etsy, because I was getting no joy whatsoever with Etsy. I think the problem is with Etsy is there's so many artists that are more established from 3 or 4 years ago on Etsy. You never get the traffic. Yeah. Do you have much luck with the Shopify shop, Tracy? Because I've literally just set mine up 3 days ago, I think it was. And it's getting some traffic, which is great. But I haven't uploaded half of the stuff that I need to upload. Oh, so it does work then. Okay. Might be great for me and you to have a chat about how you've set it up and things like that. Just out of interest and if I've done it correctly. But I think what I'm trying to do is, as well with the Shopify, you can do it worldwide as well, which is great. So you can do the worldwide shipping. And I've also put an option on there for custom orders. You see, selling locally in the UK, people just don't want to pay. They think it's mass produced and mass manufactured, and they don't want to pay for the time and the art that you put into it. And that's what I've always struggled with. It's like, in fact, let me see if I can grab it. Give me 2 seconds. This is probably going back to my carving days, but if you can see, hopefully you can see that kind of resembles an elephant, which was carved out of wood. And it's this, what's special about it is it's end grain, which is really difficult to carve. And I put this up on a marketplace, I think, for 100 quid, which I thought was reasonable. It took me 4 days to carve and get that result. And I was getting offers of 10 quid. So it kind of makes it not worth it to me. And it's the same when you go to car boots. I've tried a couple of those. People want to pay you pennies for the resin. They don't realize how much it costs. Yeah, I've seen a few of Steve McDonald's videos on saying that he always sells out of products and all of this. And again, I'm not going to speak bad of him because I don't know, but I think he also has a separate part of his membership community where it's about promoting running resin businesses, and maybe that's why those titles are sent out like that. Because again, I think he's got a lot of subscribers as well, so maybe that's why he sells his products easier, and maybe it just takes time to grow. I was surprised actually, because when I first got into resin, obviously I looked at all the big artists and all the people with the big followings. So Daniel Cooper was one of the big ones that I looked into to sort of learn the Petri technique from. And I'm surprised he hasn't got a store, really, from what I've saw. He's got a couple of like phone covers and stuff like that he's got linked to his YouTube. But again, I didn't see a shop or anything like that. And I think most of the artists that I've seen actually on YouTube don't seem to actually have a shop set up to sell the products, which I thought was kind of strange that link's missing. Yeah, I know he does TikTok as well. I actually sent him, when I first got into resin, I actually sent him a message and just said, look, I really like your videos. I'm also based in the UK. It'd be great to hook up and have a chat. and just see how you've grown. And unfortunately, he never responded. He's put a few comments on my videos saying he likes the experiments, but he didn't respond. So, but again, I just thought, you know what? There's a lot of us based in the UK as well. It'd be good to maybe even arrange a UK meetup at some point for some of the UK artists to all get together. Yeah, I've seen Wendy's actually. She does a lot of the like silicone inlays and things, as well as the extra powders and things. I think I've seen. But there seems to be a lot of companies where they've gone that way as well, where they've gone into sort of making the products rather than the finished art. Maker Central. Oh, I think I saw a video about that. Never been, never really heard of it, apart from I heard it mentioned in a video. Oh dear, WikiGeek. You're going to have to start all over again with YouTube. Oh, well, one video at a time. I think that's all you've got to do is one video at a time, be consistent, and hopefully people find it. Well, I was actually going to do a video in a couple of weeks on doing a handmade mold, actually, Tracy. But it'd be interesting to see how you do it sort of in scale. If because I've seen Pouring Your Heart Out and places like that. She does her own molds. Now, obviously, to do it in scale, which I believe they do because they stock Amazon as well as their own shops, surely there must be a manufacturer that you go to and say, look, this is the design I want, and they sort of create it for you. Because again, silicone, I was surprised at how expensive it is. It's more than the resin, really. So I think everything in this hobby is expensive. But that was the biggest surprise for me coming into resin, is how much it costs. How much, unless you do resin, you don't realize that actually your molds cost money, your resin costs money, your powders cost money, whatever else you want to put in the resin costs money. Everything costs money. Then your alcohol, then your wipes, then your gloves, whatever you're using to mix it with. It's just such an expensive hobby. Yeah, I have had some of Into Resin's molds, actually, Tracy. Really like them, to be fair, the handmade molds that they do. The only thing I'm not keen on is you can't go near them with a flame or alcohol or anything like that. But I've had some really good results from their molds. I'll grab... Yeah, I've got two of their molds at the minute. So I've got a handmade piggy mold, which is a crystal effect. You can't really see it properly on the camera. And then I've got a little tiny starfish mold as well, which is also the crystal effect. I do like the diamond effects they do as well. Yeah, you see, my problem is I can't just do one. So started off with that one. And there's now three of them. So all slightly different effects. So that one was like a glitter that I put in there. That one, as you can probably tell, was alcohol ink. It's really vibrant pink. And then that one was cat's eye pigments. I've got one as well, Tracy. Thank you, though. I managed to get a discount code for them as well to be an affiliate. And I quite like the resin as well. So not from Into Resin, that was from Just For You Online as well. So I've tried their Apex resin, and that's been quite good. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you. Yeah, the little pink pig. But yeah. Whereabouts in the world are you from, Lisa? The US as well. Whereabouts in the US? Hi, Ryan, or Rin, sorry. I kept looking at your comments on the videos and I kept seeing Ryan, even though it's Rin, so apologies. Nice to see that we're getting a few in as well. It's great. As I say, this is the first one. So I just wanted this to be an opportunity for people to ask any questions they might have. And I suppose get to know me in some ways, because that's what this channel's about. It's about building the community, building the knowledge, and hopefully growing together. It's not the first time I've been called that either, in. Nick Pro, I've not heard of that one. Washington. I'm using a lot of the T Expert at the minute, resin wise, because I managed to get a deal with them where I got a discount on it, and it's the cheapest that I'm finding at the minute for 2 gallons. Still not cheap though. It's still about 130 quid, I think, for 2 gallons. But Apex, again, I found that really good. I had my first flash cure though with their fast cure resin, which was interesting. But again, I'm not a fan of these fast cure resins. I don't think you get the same effect that you do with a standard cure resin, and there's more of a risk of obviously getting that flash cure. When I first started with resin, I was trying all the cheap ones from Temu, and I think the main one was Jan Chun. So I was using their normal one, and that was working okay. I then went to their fast cure one, and it is unusable. It's like a thick gel, and it's got like little gel-like pieces in it. And I've got half a gallon still that I just can't use. I might save it to just put it back on something, but it is so thick, it's almost unusable. So I'm not the only one that's had a bad batch. Yeah, as I say, the Apex I had no problems with. I tried the one coat that worked well, and then I tried the fast cure as well, and that worked okay. I think it was me working with the fast cure for the first time is why it flash cured, because then I used it again in another project and it worked really well. So I think you've just got to get used to your resin. You know, every resin's different, and I think the more you work with a particular brand, the more you get to know it. So your timings and everything like that for different effects. And that's one of the biggest things I've learned. Yeah, that's another fact as well, actually, Tracy. With regards to the safety sheets, it's always a bit concerning whenever you order anything from Temu. There's that risk. And actually, I went to a networking event through work a couple of months ago, and it's not just resins, it's electrical products and stuff like that off Temu. I personally wouldn't risk it now based on what he told me. It's a bit of a risk. The bad resin I have, if I'm being honest, I did put in a return to Temu, but I'm one of those that once I've ordered it, I can't be bothered with all the rigmarole of returning it. And actually, I will find a use for it in projects where I'm not doing a particular design, if that makes sense. It's just almost too much hassle to return it, to then get your credit and then have to buy again from Temu. That's not bad. For 4 gallons as well, that's pretty good. As I say, I'm paying, it's probably around about $160 is what it would translate to for 2 gallons of the T Expert one that I'm using at the minute. And that was the cheapest, half decent quality one that I could find, because Apex at the time, I've also looked at that for pricing, and pricing wise, even with the 20% off, the T Expert was coming out cheaper, and I've actually had some good effects with it. But again, there's lots of good resins out there. I use the Let's resin ones for my jewelry as well. Yeah, Rin, Timu didn't do that this time for me. I think it's because I returned a product in the previous order. So they didn't do that. They said they gave me a link to send it back with every. Thanks, Tracy. I'll have a look at that email. Be good to have a read through. But no, I use the Let's Resin standard ones as well, normally for my smaller pieces. And the reason why is they've got these pumps, which I found worked really well with this resin. When I first got these pumps, it was with the gel churn resin, and that didn't work. It's expensive though as well. That's the thing. Let's Resin, they're not cheap. I only use their alcohol inks because I found that they're the best ones from the ones that I've tried. Yeah, that is my whole workstation now. Literally, it's a 4-foot bench that I've converted so that I can fit it all in the living room. But yeah, their inks have been brilliant for me, and I've tried cheaper ones, as we all do, and I've not had any joy with the cheaper ones. I want to try the octopus inks as well, because I've heard good things about them. But I do find there's certain products that if you get them off Temu, genuinely, there's a 50-50 chance, I find. 50% of the products I've had from Temu have been great. And it's like one of my favorite metallic pigment pastes was from Temu. And that is a really nice paste that I use pretty much in every other project. But any of your additives like your micas and things like that, they tend to be good and really cheap as well from Temu. It's just the resins that I don't really trust, or the jewelry, if I'm being honest, because again, I've watched a few programs into what actually goes into their stainless steel chains, and they're not necessarily stainless steel, and they've got all sorts in them. So jewelry I won't buy off there anymore. Resin I won't buy off there anymore. But the additives and stuff and molds, do you know what? Fair play. I've had some really good molds from Temu. And obviously they're normally about half the price of Amazon for the same mold. And obviously with Temu, you always get one of their competitions where as long as you've ordered, you're going to get a £50 off voucher or whatever it is. So they're normally, the molds wise, I think they've worked out quite well, but you've just got to do your research as well and make sure you know the sizes. Because again, I've done that before where I've not looked and I've literally thought I'd ordered a mold that might be that sort of size. And when it's come, it's that size. Liquitex inks, I've not come across them either. But again, I think that's part of the fun as well of being in resin. There's always new products out there to try, and it means that you never get bored of content or creating new projects because there's so much out there what you probably haven't tried. So I've got some eco resin as well, which I haven't done a project with yet. So I'm looking forward to trialing that over the next probably few projects to create hopefully a combination of resin and eco pour in the same pieces. But I don't know if anyone's tried that yet, where they've almost had that mosaic effect. I've got a green one from Creating Bloom, which I haven't tried yet. But I saw a video on it, and unless you put an awful lot in, it seems to come out bright yellow, which, again, it's a good colour. It's probably the same one if you got it from Just For You online, because they sent me a bag to try, which I haven't tried yet. But I am looking forward to that. Oh, was it your video where it was bright yellow? Was it a candlestick and something else? Yeah. So no, I did watch that video then. So it was yours. There you go. It shows that I'm watching your content as well. Um, but no, what I want to try with it is, I don't know if you saw my video where it's how to sort of reuse your resin, but I've got loads of these sort of chopped up pieces from failed projects. And I actually thought that would be really cool, putting that into the EcoPore and seeing what effect it makes. That's my plan anyway. Whether it turns out like that, I don't know yet. Similar, yeah. So the terrazzo effect, I know they do that with obviously the EcoPore, smash it all up and put it in. But I just thought it could be a great way to use up your failed projects and still probably get a similar effect. Yeah, that's good. I'll tell you what, that's one of the things that's really surprised me actually in resin. I think the pigment paste pots are actually really good value because you don't need to use a lot. And I think that's one thing that you don't realize, but you can get them for like $8 to $10 and it will last you a year. Yeah, that's definitely the right way to go, Lisa. Otherwise, you'll have issues. I've had a few where I bought them and they're the wrong size. But do you know what? It's making me want to go from sort of micas to all pigment pastes, you know? And again, you can get different effects with different ones. But I just think when you get a pot like that and you're first coming into resin, you don't realize how far that pot's going to go. And I think I've used one pot now in about 20 different projects, and it looks like I haven't used any yet. So really good value, I think, the pigment pastes. I've seen a lot of the, is it just resin ones in other creators' videos as well? So I need to look at those. Oh, is it Elisa, another popular creator in the space? Again, I've probably watched some of your content as well. I think that's part of the fun as well in resin. There's so many of us creators out there that you never get bored. There's always something new coming up from somebody, and we can all experiment with it and put our own unique twist on it. And I think that's one of the things I love. It's like I've been playing with silicone oil in different projects and things like that recently, and I like the experiment side of things. And one I've got coming up tomorrow, which I haven't recorded yet. I don't know what it's going to turn out like, but it came into my head that I haven't seen a video on it yet. And that's white distilled vinegar in resin. A little bit crazy, but I haven't seen it done yet. So I just want to see what will happen. Yeah, I love the different effects with silicone oil. And I found that in my most recent project, with the ocean waves, the paste that I got from Temu wasn't great at making those cells, but I mixed in 2 drops of the silicone oil and got perfect cells. Not quite, but no, I do like the crazy experiments, and actually he's been a massive inspiration with that, where it's just throwing different things in the resin and seeing what happens. So I do like his experiments as well. He's commented on a few of mine as well, saying that he really liked the effect came out with. So I think it's good to have a balance of all of them. And I think that's the thing with resin. I don't have one thing that I want to do. I don't want to just do blooms. I don't want to just do Petri effect. I don't want to just do this. And I want to try and find new effects that haven't been done before. Yeah, he's got a great channel. He's got a great following. He's built it really well over the years. So a fair play to him. And I think by the sounds of the videos, and again, I've never met him, he sounds like he's a really nice guy as well, which always helps in this space if you're somebody that's a nice person to speak to. As I say, still waiting for the DM from him for him to reply. Did you go to the craft event with him, Because I know that I think in the video I saw, I think 2 people went to that craft fair with Dan. I think Wendy was one from Toonpish. We'll have to get him on one of these. Everyone keeps sending messages until... Oh, Wendy and Claire. Okay. Now, everyone keeps sending messages until he agrees to come on the live. I think he'd be quite interesting to have on one of these, actually. Hot sauce in resin. Okay. I would imagine that would be a similar effect to the ketchup in resin. But I did put a bird's eye chili in a pendant in UV resin. That came out really cool. So there's lots of different products that probably you're going to get completely different effects with if you put it in the resin, but we just haven't tried yet. Again, bleach. Be interesting just to see what happens, putting a few drops of bleach in. It could come up with a different effect. Baked beans. Okay. I think you're better off with dry products rather than wet, but again, I'm sure it came out interesting. Evan and Caitlin, are they the youngish couple with quite a big following? I think I might have seen some of their experiments where they did like a full pumpkin, if that's them. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I've seen a couple of their videos. Again, I think they've got to the point, and I think Dan's at that point now where this is all they do full time, which again is the dream, I think, eventually. But again, if you can get to that point where you can do what you love and do it every day as a living, I think that's the dream that we all want. You're full time as well. Wow. Yeah, I've seen a few of Ben's works in Australia. You can do whatever you want with silicone oil, Lisa. I've used it with my waves. I've used it on canvases. I've used it in the Petri effect, and it just mixing it in with the shaker white, and that creates quite a different effect. All sorts, to be honest. And there's lots of experiments I haven't tried yet with silicone oil. Again, that was something else, because with my woodworking that I do, I've got loads of different oils, like mineral oils, teak oils, and things like that. Might be interesting to try those in the resin as well. We could have like 6 different oil experiments in one video. But yeah, I think Ben's videos, I've seen a few of them where he's got a pressure pot cam, if memory serves correct. That's good to know, Lisa. I am a YouTuber and I still watch everybody's channels. Yeah, that's one of my favorites, actually, Rin. And I don't know if you watched the video from earlier on in the channel where I actually made the charcuterie board. I think it's this one that you're talking about. That one. I love the way that came out. It just looked so natural to me. But yeah, what you don't know is that the actual charcuterie board took me 3 days to make as well, because that was just from standard lumber. Then I burnt it all and resined over it. So I'd had that for 6 months, then got bored, and I thought, you know what? I need to add some ocean waves to it. Thanks, Tracy. It is. It's my favourite piece, apart from one of my canvases. Do you know what? It's a great creative outlet, Wicked Geek. So again, that's what I found is I got made redundant from a career which I'd had for 22 years about 6 months ago. And the thing I love about resin or anything creative for that matter, it's great to have that as an outlet, because you forget about everything else that's happening in the world and you can just focus on a project for a couple of hours. And I think that's one of the great things about resin or any other sort of creative hobby. And I think everybody in the world should have that outlet. And I think the great thing is there's so much content out there at the minute that we can all keep learning every day. And every day, I guarantee you, somebody's going to come up with something new, something different, what somebody hasn't done before. And I think that's the exciting thing. And what I have found with the resin community in particular, nobody's standoffish with each other. It's not about, no, I need to get all the views for myself or anything like that. Everybody that I've met and spoke to so far are really friendly, and it's about sharing that knowledge across the whole community rather than just, I want to try and get the most views into my channel or anything like that, which is nice to see. Yeah, and it's just a great way to switch off, you know, and that's one of the things. You've got to have a way to switch off, because I find that life is one of those things where you're always going to get curveballs. You're always going to get things happen that you don't want to happen or unexpected and things like that. And if you can find something where you can just completely switch off for a couple of hours, it helps a lot. I'm interested to know as well, since we've got a few in here now. I think we've got 7 now, which is great. A new record for the first one. But I've launched memberships last week, and I'd just be interested to know. I mean, I've put some perks in there, what I think are quite good, but I don't know if there's any specific perks of joining a membership of a community that you guys would want to see. But I'm open to sort of hearing any ideas. I couldn't agree more. In the problem is when you've got too many things completely surrounding you, because you do 1 or 2 projects a day every day, and then I think you get too much. But yeah, if anyone's got any thoughts, because I've just launched memberships, as I say, a couple of weeks ago, and I want to do it as a community. I want to get people's thoughts on what would incentivize you to join a membership. What perks would you want to see? Would you just want extra content and stickers and emojis, or is there more that you'd want to see from that? WikiGeek, you should look at some of my earlier videos. They're shocking. Don't worry about the editing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect now by any stretch of the imagination. I think I've had a few people comment that that's why they like my content. It's very real when things go wrong. Yeah, I was planning on doing that, to be honest. So 2 things that I thought of doing for the perks would be something like this. So do maybe 1 live a week for everybody in the public, another one just for members, extra content, which might be behind the scenes content or unedited content and things like that for members to look at. But I've also done in my perks as well, depending on the level, there's also a giveaway once a month, providing people want to win it and are happy to supply an address for me to ship it through to. And in the highest level, there's also a one-to-one coaching call with anything that people have got issues with. So I just thought that might be a little bit different to the membership perks that are out there at the moment. Most of yours haven't downloaded your gifts. I think that's the thing. I want to do things like giveaways and things like that. But again, what you've got to remember is we are in the internet space. So some people won't want to share their address for you to actually post it. I've just seen we've gone up to 9 now, which is great. We're almost at double figures. Oh, back down 6. Somebody didn't like that. But no, I'd be really interested to know what sort of perks people think would get people incentivized to join. And again, I had somebody just this week do the first Buy Me a Coffee for the channel, which was absolutely amazing. A lady called Anna, I think it was, who really like the teddy bears with a heart video that I did, and she's going to be doing them and putting some in a store. Well, that's the other thing I thought about doing as well, is downloads. So on some of the more complex blooms, I don't know if you've seen, but I've done those templates, which are made in Canva specific to the molds. So like an 8-inch mold. And I've done specific designs to sort of pipe in and get those effects. So that's the other thing I thought about doing, was maybe just do some generic templates, what people can print off. But no, I think the great thing is it's early days. So as there's more members and things like that, I'm actually going to put it to them and say, look, what do you want from the channel? And whatever they want is build it around them. And again, they can tell you what they want. You know, I mean, obviously it depends at which level. I can't. If let's say we get to, I don't know, 1,000 members in a few years' time, then I couldn't possibly do a one-to-one call with everybody every week. So it's got to be reasonable as well. But you know what? I think it's a great way to sort of get more involved. Obviously, get more pictures in there and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm building out a Discord channel because, interestingly, I was part of a Web3 community and I had my own Discord channel for that. But again, within the community, what I tend to find is there's a lot of the more mature generation that don't even know what Discord is, and it's whether it would get utilized. Do you get many people in your Discord, Tracy? Because again, with the Discords, the thing is, if they're not active, brilliant. So I'll have a look at that. But no, if it's not active in a Discord, then it's kind of pointless running it. And I think that's the thing. Yeah, so that's the other thing. I was thinking about every video going out to members first, sort of 48 hours before it goes out to the public. That's taken on board, Rin. So I'll start to do a few of those and put them in there. Yeah. So I think, and again, I'm probably going to be trying to leave it at no more than sort of 3 videos a week, because I don't know how you found things, Tracy, but I find that if I post every day, I get worse results on YouTube, and it's almost like the algorithm doesn't share it as much. If I post with sort of 3-day space between, I tend to get more views. Yeah. And this is what to me doesn't make sense, because if I was YouTube, they make money from views and adverts and things like that. And I actually think that for them, you would think that they would push more of your content out if you did it more regular, but I think it works the opposite way. Yeah, that makes sense. Keep it to sort of 2 videos a week, I think. And then members maybe do an extra, I don't know, an extra video just for members. Yeah, that could be true as well, Tracy. Because again, I think that's the bizarre thing for me is when I've had a really good month on YouTube, where I've had like, I don't know, 50,000 views or something like that, I look into the analytics and only 15% of them are from people that are actually subscribed. Yeah, that would make sense, to be fair, with a notification bell. Although I am testing something out at the minute with my shorts. So I don't know if you've seen, but pretty much one thing that's going out on the shorts is 2 resin quotes a day. I don't know if you noticed on the channel, and I don't know if you like them, but that took a lot of work. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But it's just nice to know that people do subscribe and actually like the content, you know. And I think that's the only way you know, as somebody that creates these videos. People don't realize how much work goes into some of them, and it's like some of my videos, literally, it might be an hour's project, but it's 4 or 5 hours worth of editing just to get it to the point where I actually publish it. Yeah, the only thing I'm using shorts for, Tracy, is to draw more traffic to the channel. And actually, since I've been doing that, I have noticed that I've been getting a few more views coming through. And again, it's just fun to come up with different resin quotes. So the shorts, I'm not bothered about from the monetary side of things. You could get 1 million views on a short and you get paid probably 10 quid. But it does it does hopefully draw more people into the channel that might not know about you. And again, if anybody's seen my most recent upload, apologies. That wasn't supposed to be a video. That was supposed to be a short promoting the longer video that I did. So it's not my best work. But I think that's part of the strange thing as well. The videos that you think will do really well don't, and the ones that you think, actually, it's like my most recent plant pot one. I didn't think that would do very well, but it's doing better than some of the others that I thought would do well. You just can't figure it out. Yeah, I think with the shorts, as I say, what I use them for is you can add a related video. So as long as it's relevant and valid to your community, so resin related, if that's what your community is, then it's a quick 15-second clip, but you're also promoting your video just underneath. And then you can go in and put a pinned comment in as well. So I just think it gets more eyes on the videos. Whether you get more clicks or not, I don't know yet. But it's just something that I've started doing. And I spent probably the best part of a full day getting ahead of the game with my shorts. So I've got 2 going out every day up until the end of the month to try and get more people to sort of have eyes on the channel. TikTok, I don't do anything with, if I'm being honest. And I know it sounds crazy. I'm just not a fan of TikTok. And I know some people have built up massive communities with it. Yeah, if you want any advice on that, Tracy, let me know. I could probably give you a few tips on that, on stuff that I researched that managed to make it not too time consuming. Because again, that's the problem. I looked at all of my long form content and I thought, can I create a short for each one? But it just takes too long to edit. And it takes like another 3 hours to edit it down into a 30-second short. But no, if you say you've emailed me, Tracy, I'm happy to respond, and I'll let you know what I've done and how I've done it, so it doesn't take up as much time as it would have done if I do like 3 hours of editing per short. I've signed up to Pinterest today, again, to share some of the projects I've done to see if that creates any more traffic. But again, I don't know if that will or won't. That's about how to link them all back, I think, Tracy. Yeah. Try and make it relevant. But no, as I say, if you've looked at the shorts that I've done recently, literally twice a day, up until the end of December now, I think I've got it scheduled into. There's 2 different resin quotes a day going out, and it's just a bit of fun. But some of those have been getting 400 or 500 views. So if 10% of those people then go into my long form content and become part of the channel, it's going to help it grow, is the way that I've looked at it. But again, the frustrating thing for me is you seem to reach a ceiling on your videos. You must go look at. I was going to say I could go get some shirts if you really want to look at them, but there we go. But no, the interesting thing for me with the videos is they start to make traction and then it just stops, and you don't get any views, even on your most successful videos. So some of my most successful ones, not including the one that there was advertising on, are like 1,600 views, and then it just seems to stop. And I can't understand why. Does YouTube just stop promoting it at a certain level, or are people just not interested at that point? That's what I'm trying to get my head around. Yeah, I'm sorting out the Facebook page as well, Wicked Geeks. So, I mean, I need to get that sorted, because at the minute I'm not posting anything out on my own page on Facebook. I'm just posting on all of the other resin groups, and some of them don't like that, and then you get blocked and things like that. So I need to sort the Facebook out more. But I think ideally I want to grow the YouTube as being the main platform, because for me that's what I prefer. It's just something that I prefer to do. Put a video out there, and then, as I say, it's there forever. Definitely. And again, I can't figure out the one that I thought would go particularly well was the 10 steps for the 3D bloom. And I thought I'd put a lot of time into that and quite a bit of creativity as well. So it wasn't just my hands on the table. And that went up to like 1,600 views in less than 2 weeks, and then just stopped and flatlined. Yeah, it could be that. I mean, there is a lot of resin content coming out there at the minute. I know there's some people what are putting out a video a day for every day in December, which I think is a little bit excessive. Yeah, that's the one. And I say, I thought that was probably my best editing, best, I suppose, acting you would call it, because there was a bit of creativity in it as well. But it literally, over 2 weeks, it got 1,600 views and then just stopped. And now I get like 2 views a week on it. Crazy. Yeah, I've heard that as well. Works on cycles. And then obviously January, Christmas is over. I'm hoping for a bit of an uplift over Christmas, though, with people having more time off. See, that's interesting with August because of holidays. I would have thought you might get a few more with it being school holidays, and obviously people not being in work as much. I suppose you've got to look after the kids, though. Yeah, that's what I thought. Is sort of Boxing Day onwards, people sat at home, not in work. I know, let's go on YouTube, look at a few tutorials. So yeah, I only have my 2 kids part time, so I have them 3 out of 4 weekends. So I get the best of both worlds: peace, and I still get my kids. So yeah, you need to get that D key fixed, Tracy. But no, make sure you watch the video coming out tomorrow as well, and just let me know what you think to the thumbnail. I deliberately played with it a little bit to see if it gets more views. It's just another little test I'm doing on YouTube. So again, if you don't do anything else, just let me know in comments what you think to the thumbnail. Oh dear. But no, I think I'm probably going to wrap this one up now, unless anyone's got any pressing questions that they want to ask. But it's been good to get to know a few of you as well, and hopefully you found the same as well. I think it's always good to get to know the community, get to know who's watching your content and who's enjoying it. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you turning up as well. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm thinking about doing this every Tuesday at the same time going forward. If you guys think that'd be useful, I'm more than happy to do it and schedule it in. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And Tracy, I'll read that email that you sent me as well, and I will respond after this as well. So I'll have a read through that. And it's been good to, as I say, meet you all and find out a bit more about you. I hope you enjoy the channel going forward, and I hope we can all sort of grow together in the space. So I'm going to do another one this time next week, and hopefully if I do it at the same time every week, we'll get a few more coming in as well, and we can grow these. But I'm glad you've all enjoyed it. Brilliant. So same time, 8 o'clock UK time, which I think is about 3 p.m. EST in the States, if memory serves correct, every Tuesday. And I'll try and join yours as well if you've invited me as a guest as well, Tracy. It'd be good to do a joint one and see who we get on for that. But apart from that as well, to anybody new that might be watching this, because I am going to send it out afterwards, I might as well, like and subscribe to the channel. I've responded, I think, to every comment so far. So again, I'm going to keep trying to do that. And again, I hope you've enjoyed the content, and make sure you follow the channel. And I'll see you guys next week.